Counselors Craft a Curious Path with Ruby and Olivia.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Ruby Miller, a multidisciplinary artist, singer-songwriter, therapist, and wisdom seeker with a background in opera, ceramics, and photography.
And I'm Olivia Candosia. I'm an actor, theater director, voiceover artist, early childhood educator, and drama therapist. We are both neurodiverse therapists who strive to infuse more wonder, authenticity, and joy into modern life. We're here to share our hearts and stories, and in turn, listen to yours. Here we gather with you to craft the curious path of life, therapy, and art. Welcome and co-create with us.
I have a 3, so yeah.
Hello.
All right, welcome everyone. Hi, Olivia.
Caitlin, welcome everybody back to Counselors Craft a Curious Path.
With Ruby and Olivia, where we explore the tarot and the archetypes of the tarot. So, we're starting with the lovers, right? Or do you want to start with the Okay. So today we are doing archetypal role play, which is an intervention Olivia and I are sort of developing together during this podcast, where we explore playing out an archetype within ourselves. So the sort of the thinking about the magician episode last week, the container we're creating is I, Caitlin, am going to play out the archetype of the lovers in me. And so the lovers is the sixth card of the major arcana of the tarot. And so I have two different lovers cards. This is the traditional one. There's feminine presenting, masculine presenting person in between a volcano with an angel over. And they sort of have open body language. They're both naked. Behind the woman, there's, I kind of think it's a persimmon tree with a snake. So sort of the Adam and Eve kind of stuff. And then the man has what looks like a tree, but the leaves look like fire. Um, and then sort of the angel above them directing them. So I also got this tarot deck recently called Magical Hours Tarot, and I love this image of their lover's card. So this is one person, they're both wearing dresses. I'm pretty sure a queer person made this deck. It's great. So one person has like a crow face, and the other person is femme presenting, and then they're under a rose tree with a goat on top of it. And so it kind of has that same duality of like there's the spirit above sort of mediating the lovers below, and the lovers are turned towards each other and it's peaceful, but it has more kind of inclusive, queer leaning imagery, more modern and sort of surrealist. So anyway, I grabbed both of those. So what we'll start, go ahead. The card. Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna go back to the website Labyrinthos, which is they also have an app if anyone's interested. I don't know who wrote this, but we'll talk about the lovers card. So Major Arcana number 6, upright keywords: love, unions, partnerships, relationships, choices, romance, balance, unity. The Lover's Tarot card description. In the Lover's card, the man and the woman in the image are being protected and blessed by an angel above. The couple seems secure and happy in their home, which appears to be the Garden of Eden. The fruit tree with the snake behind the woman is a reference to that story, which tells of humanity's fall into temptation and into the realm of flesh and sensuality. The angel depicted here is Raphael. I'm going to hold this up for the people who watch this as a video as I'm talking. Um, the angel depicted here is Raphael, the angel of air, who is of the same element of the zodiac sign that governs this card, Gemini. Air is associated with mental activity and communication in particular, which is the foundation for healthy relationships. Ooh. His blessing seems to give this card a sense of balance and harmony, the symbolization of union in a grand and cosmic sense between two opposing forces. The primary meaning within the lovers is harmony, attractiveness, and perfection in a relationship. The trust and unity that the lovers have gives each other the confidence and strength, empowering the other. The bond that they have created is very strong, and it can indicate that the two are joined in marriage or other close and intimate relationships. Another meaning behind the Lover's card is the concept of choice, a choice between things that are opposing and mutually exclusive. This could be a dilemma that you need to think about carefully and make the best decision for your situation. I'm going to do one more paragraph and then we'll transition. A more personal lover's meaning that can apply to individuals is the development of your own personal belief systems, regardless of what are the societal norms. We see this as a development from the Hierophant, who's the Pope male version of priest, who made decrees and passed on his knowledge through a standardized system. This is one of the times when you figure out what you are going to stand for and what your philosophy in life will truly be. You must start making up your mind about what you find important and unimportant in your life. You should be as true to yourself as you can be, so you will be genuine and authentic to the people who are around you.
Great.
So, there we go.
Oh man, okay. So today we're going to be tapping into the lovers in Caitlin.
Mhm.
For those who don't know what we mean by that, that is, it's not the generic idea of the lovers like Caitlin was just reading. It is within her. How does that archetype show
Mhm.
up?
Yep. So if anyone's familiar with internal family systems, it's as though one of my parts is the lovers, and how would that part in my family system, my internal system, play out?
Hmm.
Um, so I'm kind of tempted for the name to just be lovers.
Yeah.
And I feel like the voice I'm gonna channel isn't the man or the woman, it's actually the angel, because I feel like the angel Raphael, I don't want to call this part Raphael because I'm not super Christian and I think that, yeah, anyway, but like, I think what I'm gonna think of as the voice is
That.
the angel. Yeah.
Great.
Yep.
All right. We're gonna breathe our way into this.
Oh, I already feel so much better. Wow. I love archetypal roleplay.
Mhm. All right. Hello, lovers. Welcome
Hello.
to Council's Craft Curious Path.
I love this
You
podcast.
love this podcast?
Yes.
Why do you love this podcast?
I feel like Olivia and Caitlin are sort of playing out this card, like Adam and Eve. I don't know, duality, finding a way for the two of them, Caitlin and Olivia, to come together as lovers of a creative act, like two actors in creating this beautiful world. And it is a blessing to see it occur and to engage with it.
Yeah. Oh, that's so beautiful to hear you um, phrase it in like such a friendship way too. Because I think
Oh, exactly.
when we look at this, we can initially think like romance or something, but that there is a friendship in this presence of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I'm sort of offering the insight of, I can represent the duality. So the man and the woman could be Caitlin and Olivia. It could be Olivia and Olivia's mother. It could be good and evil. It could be the part of you that
And does it have to be opposites, or can it just be anything that's
it can be anything that's different.
different?
Yeah. And
Okay.
then the union of it. And so Raphael, the angel, is sort of holding this space to create the union between two separate
Hmm.
parts that
Hmm.
come together. Yeah.
So, where do you show up most in Caitlin's life?
Whew, I just got a big hit.
Hmm.
Um, in her personal relationship with her partner,
Hmm.
um, I think I'm really trying to help her bring them together as peacefully and lovingly as possible with both her and her partner being differentiated human beings, as well as also creating a third entity, which is the relationship, and Raphael sort of embodies. But I think that often for her and for many people in relationships, the balance between we are a union and we are one and we are also two separate beings can be very hard to teeter back and forth
So
with.
how do you help with that?
I actually sense resistance from Caitlin to engage with me lately, and I feel a sadness because I'm really trying to help her.
Yeah, what is she saying to you?
She's pushing me away. She isn't even
She not
saying
talking to you?
anything. Yes, she's not talking to me.
So what if she were to hear you, what would she hear you say?
Hmm. I think I want to help her in each specific instance in the relationship, in that specific moment, to help balance union as well as individuation. So I feel like although the archetype of the lovers is very grand and heady in some ways, that I actually would like to show up for her as this is a way to balance this in this moment. So it could be as simple as Caitlin is making dinner and she wants help making dinner. Okay, ask him for help to make dinner. Or she's making dinner and I'm sensing, you know what? You might not want to make this dinner alone, but it might be the best choice to just make it alone and present it to your partner. So I'm actually wanting to help her with very practical, in the moment, everyday things
It,
that I
it
think she's
almost
getting
sounds like
lost.
it almost sounds like Caitlin thinks there is a right choice, and you are showing that either choice that she makes will help her in some way. Am I hearing that right?
No,
No.
I think so. I think Caitlin thinks there's a right choice.
Yes.
I think that Caitlin perceives she's making the wrong choice often,
Mm.
but I also think that she is making unwise decisions. So I do think that
Oh.
I think she's making decisions from a place of fear and anxiety instead
Mm.
of a place of groundedness, and
Right.
that
And so you offer that grounded piece?
yeah, essentially bringing her back to the value of like balance and what's the word for it? Balance and groundedness.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. So let's use this kitchen example, like making food. What signals are you picking up on, and what are you communicating when you get those signals from her?
Yeah, so I would try to remind her of her values and the big picture. So, for example, maybe she's making dinner and she wants help making dinner, but the feeling of wanting help making dinner feels more like anger instead of I want help making dinner because it would be joyful to make dinner with her
Mm-hmm.
partner. And so I feel like I can tap into not just what she's impulsively trying to do, but the feeling behind it and remind her of values and also to not sweat the small stuff. So I it's hard to talk about it without it actually happening
Yeah.
because
So
I'm
here's
really
it's okay.
go ahead.
Um. So you're saying like, oh my gosh, I might have just lost my train of thought. Um. You're a value that you're reminding her of is joy. Like there doesn't have to be this anger. There's also joy in the desire that you have for wanting someone to help you make dinner.
Um, no, how do I describe this? Um, that so essentially if she's acting out of anger or fear,
Mhm.
to say like, hey, whoa, 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 we're slowing down. There's anger or fear here. So she can be so cognitive, so she can think like, oh, I just want help making dinner. It's that simple. But the intention behind it and the emotion behind it can be so much like cloud the whole interaction that I'm here to remind her of like your values around this relationship and all of your relationships is to be like grounded and authentic and loving and to act in a way that is sustainable for the long term. And so, go ahead.
I'm curious. I the part where she is slowing down and just thinking she just wants help with dinner. Are you there helping open up her eyes to what's going on, or are you just like what is your role?
Yeah, so I think if I can try to like take this hypothetical situation and what I would say to her, I would say, Caitlin, slow down. You are tempted to just say, come on, help me with dinner to your partner. But what's happening in your body right now, and how does that reflect your values of how you want to be in a relationship? Caitlin, it seems like you don't feel loving right now. You feel afraid, you feel sad, and I want to hold space for that fear or sadness, but I also don't want you to impulsively act without acknowledging how you're feeling because it creates tension and sadness. It
Mm,
doesn't, it's not generative. So, like, I want to help you continue to put energy towards building joy and deep connecting interactions in the relationship.
hmm hmm So when she is not even talking to you, she's just pushing you. What?
I think that this recording is helpful for her to just hear from me that I'm here and she can access me. Like I am a part of her internal system and I want to help her. And I think that she feels often very alone in those moments of decision making by herself where she's sort of shooting from the hip and trying to do the best she can. And I feel like part of the beauty of the container that Olivia, like you and her are making is to remind Caitlin, to remind you, to remind listeners that we are not alone, even if we might be physically isolated in the moment. You have your ancestors you can tap into, you have any spirituality you can tap into, you have internal systems you can tap into, you have archetypes you can tap into. So to sort of feel as though she's not just lost out at sea trying to create a sustainable relationship, that she is grounded in a system of parts that are here to support her.
Mm. Can you pause for a second and tell me if you hear her saying anything to you right now?
She's sobbing.
She's sobbing. Oh my gosh. What do you think of that?
I think that she, like many people in this world, feel alone often when she's not, and just that gentle reminder of you are not alone even when there's no one else to talk to in that specific moment of your life.
So
Like you're not,
how can you comfort her right now in those tears?
I would want her to cry and let out
Yeah.
the heaviness.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. She's also thanking me. Um, but it reminds me, I just got an image of walking up to someone on the street who is a homeless person and offering them food and saying, like, I am here with you. So, sort of that moment of, hey, you can look up and look at me. I am here with you. I'm offering you something. I'm offering you food. I'm offering you support. And sort of that body language of from like crouched and alone and stressed into like open and receiving. Um, I feel sad for her. I feel like she cognitively understands the lovers very deeply, but that tapping into me, her own inner exemplification of the lovers is something she doesn't do often.
Hmm.
And she's such a help to her clients who are falling in love or trying to date or in relationships and strengthening them. So she taps into me all the time in her role as a therapist with
Hmm.
clients. I'm just like by her side there all the time. But then in her personal life, I think she feels like, oh, I can handle this on my own.
Sure. So
And no
where
one can.
are you just in the corner then?
When in her
When
personal
in
life,
traffic, yeah, in the personal life.
I just pictured a cloud of smoke around her head that's so thick that I'm with her, but she just doesn't see me.
Hmm.
So I think I've been trying to communicate with her, but I think how difficult the past couple days have been for her, she just doesn't want to see me.
Yeah. You seem pretty patient though.
Oh, I am. Her capacity to love, whether it's loving her clients or her partner or her family or her friends or loving creativity or loving nature, like her heart is so big
Yeah.
and there's a lot to manage there and process, but there's so much potential for beauty and radiating
So
joy.
you're saying that you do show up pretty consistently in like her sessions with clients and things.
Hmm. Hmm.
And as we've discussed, you show up in many different kinds of ways for different kind of relationships, whatever.
Hmm.
Where else do you show up pretty strongly for her besides with clients?
It's so interesting because in this archetypal role play, in these interviews, I and other of Caitlin's parts always say in singing, and I think there's a trailhead there of like, it seems like when Caitlin's singing, she's connecting way more with her parts, like her
Yeah.
parts are just online. But yeah, the lovers, I feel like in a musical composition, I can help her find balance and
Hmm.
direction. So yeah, I do think, oh, and she also, she recently painted watercolors with a new friend she's making, and there was a lot of heart in that too, and balance of this is a light, long stroke, and this is a dark, short stroke, and like sort of, I'm picturing the card of like some strokes were Eve and some strokes were Adam, and finding the balance and how they both come together in like the angel. So yeah, there's something about two distinct creative forces coming together and finding balance with one another that creates so much more dimension in a piece of art.
Hmm.
Oh, I also just pictured she recently recorded Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen, and that there were parts of it where she was pushing her voice really hard. It was almost breaking, and then other parts where she was doing sort of operatic, like do 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 do, like stuff that she could do for hours. And so that sort of balance of like
Mm.
the breaking parts is more of the emotional heaviness and grit and just like raw emotionality, and then the more like angelic parts are more of um sort of like a warm blanket over the composition, but
Yeah,
that without some of each.
you seem so essential for survival.
Oh, I absolutely am. Yeah,
Like,
for Caitlin and also the lovers for all humans.
mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just am thinking about how important you are.
yeah,
Speak.
yeah. And your question about are you always opposites? I really liked that because sometimes it's a binary of something that most people would think of as the opposite of a different thing, and how do we bring them together? But it can also be just any two concepts, words, people, ideas, actions, physical objects, and like how do they
It's
join?
interesting because I feel a little overwhelmed thinking about that. Like
Oh,
the
wow.
there's an infinite amount of possibilities and combinations of things. Um,
Yes.
and to find that balance is a very challenging thing. But to know
Hmm.
that you are able to help aid in that brings
Hmm.
me comfort, but I'm not tapped in with that part of myself. Because
Yeah.
I am getting overwhelmed thinking about like, and then this with this, and then this could also be paired. It's a lot.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm thinking about helping you figure out where
Mhm.
I sit in your body, in your system, and what would it look like to hold that part of your body and try to tap into it, and what would your lovers say, and how could your lovers guide you
Or
in
how could you
any
help? How could you help
situation?
me find that?
I'm curious if when you've been talking to me, if there is a part of me that is within you. Do you sense that?
It's hard to say right now. I feel very disconnected to a lot of myself right now.
Hmm.
So probably there have been like lingers of things you've said, but
Hmm.
for someone who is in a place like I am right now, who feels very like survival mode, it's
Hmm.
I'm curious how you could maybe show up in someone really experiencing like anguish and pain like I am. I don't
Hmm.
know.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I'm thinking of if, let's say, the man in this card represents anguish and pain, then I would draw your attention to the woman in the card, which might exemplify beauty and lightness, and just tell you that you have the most beautiful eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Your eyes just, so taking your attention to things that sort of are an antidote to the heaviness that you're feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that seems very therapeutic. Like something Caitlin and I do often in therapy sessions with people is
Hmm.
helping direct their attention towards something that is not what where their cognition is. Um,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, particularly when the anguish and the pain feels too heavy to bear.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm thinking about just like how we've talked about this in other recordings before, but how talking about pain can sometimes not be helpful. Often it is helpful, but also there is so much value to looking at other things too.
Yes. Yeah. And essentially, what I took from how you were talking about what you were feeling is that you're totally out of balance with pain versus
Yes.
pleasure.
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yes. It's very hard for a person like me who is so joy filled.
Yeah.
Like it feels
Yeah.
very foreign and almost
Hmm.
like a monster part is inside of me. I don't know what
Yes.
that is, but it's so frustrating to receive like feedback or help from other people that you can tell they're trying to direct my attention towards something else, but I am not letting it happen. I am doing what Caitlin's doing, and I am pushing it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Can we talk to the monster part in you?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should we have this be the next episode?
Make them both half-hour episodes? Sure. Let's do it. All
Mm-hmm.
right. I'm gonna cut this up differently.
Yeah, I can do kind of a
Yeah. Go for
goodbye to the lovers. So Olivia and I just played out the lovers in me, and Olivia was interviewing me, and I'm curious for audience members, like what resonated with you, and I'm particularly curious about neurodivergent listeners who might not be actively in a relationship, because I think the lovers card is much, and that archetype is much easier to connect to when you're in a relationship.
it.
Um, and yeah, and I guess a thought for me is I was surprised by how somber my lover's archetype was. Um, and not somber like sad, but
Mhm.
I don't know. It's interesting. I think I consciously think of love as more of like a pleasure-inducing, exciting thing, and then the lover's card was essentially like I am here as an angel all the time to help you find balance between two opposing, or not, two different forces, not opposing forces. So I thought there was something very comforting and wise in that, that felt consciously beyond what I immediately consider as particularly romantic love.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, from the first thing you said too, I was like, oh, us. We are here.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So
Thanks for sharing, Caitlin.
yeah.
I know, like,
Yeah.
I was Olivia interviewing you. I was really trying to figure out what this was because I had a
I
different
know.
idea. So I was like, just is this is a theory? No, no, that's not right. This is a theory. No, that's not right.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's part of it too, is getting that clarity for both of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's part of the beauty because Caitlin, tried very consciously to not prepare what my lover's inside of me might look like. And I think if I would have prepared, I would have thought more about like almost Cupid, like love,
Sure.
like, oh,
Yeah.
lovey love, like, oh, lovey-dovey love.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was interesting to see how it showed up.
I mean, that's
Um,
so important to note because we have been trained here at Effective Artistry to not like prepare for sessions
yeah.
and to just whatever shows up in the moment is what deserves attention.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you're saying is important right now, and I love the unpredictability of that because it really that's where the juice is. Like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
forget that I know it brings us comfort to have like structure and things, but sometimes oftentimes that flow state where we're not even thinking is
Mm-hmm.
when we get the stuff.
Oh yeah, and that's how I'll end archetypal role
Yeah.
plays, whether you're playing a part in you or I'm playing a part in me with, oh, there was an important message that was delivered here, because the whole idea is you go beyond whatever you consciously think about day to day as yourself,
Mhm.
and you get messages from parts of you that you don't consciously tap into as often.